Okay, wow. It has been a while. But I'm finally back from vacation. Finally feel like I have enough time to like sit down and do what I said I was going to do. And we are going to start with just a recap from this week. Everything, singles, sealed, slabs, over $1,000 in Riftbound. I tried to put this in order, like going up in price. There are so many different things to cover. I was not able to cover everything. And if there are some cards that are left out, it's for two reasons. Either it is just, very similar to a lot of other cards and there's nothing really crazy going on with the price, or I'm going to try and make a separate video for them. I want to do a video on the metal cards because the metal cards are kind of like a weird anomaly. I put a few in this list just because the price points are just like so high. But yeah, I left out a lot of the ungraded ones and only put in the big ones. And so we're just going to talk through this. We're going to look at all these listings. And I tried to stick with eBay and then using a little bit of TCG Player just so we can compare prices. Seems like there's, some decent like percentage-wise differences in terms of what you can buy off a TCG Player and what you can find on eBay. And not just for sniping auctions or sniping people who are just like listing low. It's, going in both directions. So it's a little weird. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna start with, there's a lot of the Vendetta signatures kind of right in this like $1,000 area, and what I want to do is like look through each of these cards and see if we're actually looking at like reasonably possible like gradable copies. And so a lot of the cards coming out of Vendetta, they pretty much all have the same like issue with them. Not all of them, of course, but it's a very common error. So we're looking like right here where my cursor is. It's here, and then like up here is the other part where there seems to be lots of chips on the front side, and it looks like the seller is like trying to put that into full focus. I mean, the rest of the card, I saw the back earlier, but again, you can see it from this POV. The back like low-key looks fine, but there's like that little chip on the front. And I didn't see any scratches on the back, but it's also hard because all these pictures are still in the sleeve. Like there's this scratch that could totally be on the card. That's still a problem with a lot of the Riftbound cards, is at the back, so like really prone to scratching. And if you're selling cards on eBay, this is still technically a near mint card, but the seller may not always disclose that, so it's one thing you have to be careful about. And we are of course going to look at a lot of raw cards that sold for some astronomical prices later on in this video. But yeah, this card ended up going for 1,000 USD right on the dot. And if we go to TCG Player, this card is selling, there's some weird sales at 1,400, and then we have some listed here, at like 1,300 with no pictures. And it's like, if you really want to buy cards with no pictures, be my guest. I will never do that with cards of this price. That's absolutely ridiculous. I always buy off of eBay. I haven't picked up the Jace yet. I think I might have missed the boat on that one. I've got a lot of the Vendetta signatures, fortunately, but I did not get the Jace, and I still really like it, and I kind of want to pick it up. All right, but moving on to Unleashed, just, case finally getting above 1,000 USD. And if you go to TCG Player, it's actually much higher with the lowest listed, being around, 1,150. So again, you can always get, some good deals if you can snipe some people's cases. I've bought cases off of eBay with no problem thus far. Okay, moving into Kennen. Okay, we're looking Kennen signature. Let's take a look. Centering's fine. It's a little left heavy. We got some print lines on the card, but I don't think they're PSA usually doesn't really care about that for Riftbound. The back looks fine. I don't really see any issues. Let's look for the issue with Vendetta cards. You can see it, right by my cursor, like on the left there. You have some whitening, some chipping. This card's got 2 dots on it, one up here and then one down here. I'd be really interested to see if this tens. Once more Vendetta cards, start getting graded in tens, we can really see like how strict PSA is being with these cards. Typically the Riftbound cards are grading very similarly to one-piece cards, so even if there's like one chip on the front, I still feel pretty confident sending the cards to PSA for it to get a 10, of course. So this guy, I wouldn't purchase him. Just based on these 2 dots. It's a little bit out of my risk tolerance, but for 1,000 USD, which is pretty similar to TCG Player, I guess that's what the calculus of this person is. They're probably going to send it to grade. Yeah, and one of the nice things on eBay is now you can just send cards straight to PSA, so you save on the sales tax if you just get it like shipped to the vault. And then you basically get to grade the card for free, if you're buying an over $1,000 card and live in a state, that has sales tax like I unfortunately do. But yeah, so it's, pretty common, and they're, starting to add the grading feature to the Riftbound cards. I know some cards have it, some cards don't, but, pretty much all the Riftbound cards still have authenticity guarantee, which is, kind of strange. You get AG, but you don't get the ability to grade. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, because we are here for market watch, not grading discussion. All right, we got another Ari. This is the non-signature version. Looks like a great copy. No issues. Like, we're going to look down here. The Origins cards has much better print quality. And yeah, like, look at this. Nearly like 90% gem rate. Still over $1,000 for this card when it's about 500 raw. Still pretty good. Then we have this promo as well. This guy was like a free grading play for a bit, but that spread has shrunk quite rapidly. Now I think this card on TCG Player is in the like $300 to $500 range, which is like nice. You can still make a profit, but it's just not as crazy as it was before. Basically 100% gem rate. Well, it's 90%, but still. All right, moving on, we got the Worlds Bundle. So this one's a little bit beat up is what I noticed, but I still wanted to throw it on this list. Like, this is definitely not something that I would want to have as a collector if I wanted to keep this sealed. If I was interested in grading the Teemo, then it's all right. We'll see later on the Teemo's kind of gone down in price, but yeah, this box is just like super beat up. And then I put on here TCG Player. This guy's kind of been stagnating around like 1,200, which honestly is pretty fair for this. As long as the Teemo stays like relatively high, I think it's around like 2.5 right now, then this box will always stay elevated. If the grading play exists, then this box will always be high, but otherwise, I think this thing looks really pretty. Like, if I were to ever buy it, honestly, I think I'd buy an open box one, maybe without the Teemo, and just kind of like use it as display, because I just love the box. I think the box is really cool. Like, the sealed aspects of this guy doesn't really like do it for me, just because this box is like low-key kind of ugly, while as this box is like so pretty, and I just love it so much, the way that it opens up with like the 2 tiers. Oh, it looks so nice. All right, moving on, we're going back to Vendetta signatures. So we're looking at this Mel. We're gonna look down here, and we're gonna look at kind of like the same area that we were looking at the other Vendetta cards, and this picture isn't the best, but in terms of centering is definitely fine. Top bottom looks fine, but yeah, I don't really see those white dots. So let's take a look at the back. And yeah, this is probably glare. It's probably fine. This card looks pretty good. So like, I think this is a pretty fair price. I'm still trying to pick up one of these myself, but I'm trying to see if I can get it closer to 1,000. But it seems like the card's really making moves along with all the other cards, in Vendetta right now. Then here we go. We got the Unleashed Poppy. Like, this card's still really cool, but still selling really low. Like, a lot of the cards in Unleashed are just super low. Yeah, I mean, it's a Poppy card. It's not like super popular character. It doesn't have the waifu tax, doesn't have like cute art tax. This is like a like a brawler, like I play top lane kind of thing, and that really seems to be driving a lot of prices in Riftbound, where of course your like cutesy girl characters are selling for the most, which we all kind of know. And so we're gonna get into this Soraka. So let's take a peek. Again, we're gonna evaluate it for grading, just so we can kind of get a better idea of what's really going on with this card. Nothing really looks crazy. Take a look, top, bottom. Let's go down here. And yeah, I mean, the seller will like scroll down. No extra information. Like, this is a case where like the seller's not putting like the proper light on the back, if they were trying to like show you scratches. So, if I'm ever buying cards off eBay, I try because the sellers don't always respond, and sometimes the deal is like too good, you're willing to take the risk. But like, this photo is like, with matte lighting, so you're not really going to be able to see the scratches if there are any on the back. But this card ended up selling, for about $1,200. Really good card. The grading play is still there. I think it's around like 2,510. I don't think I put it on the list here, but this card's still selling a lot. People like the Soraka. And then going back to another Spirit Forged, it's a Karma. Again, Commerce doesn't have the waifu tax. Like, this art just doesn't do it for a lot of people, myself included. So we've seen about $1,200. There's still small grading play for a lot of these Riftbound signatures, but a lot of them are starting to come down in value over the past couple weeks. But yeah, all right, let's go next. Got Set. Again, I think this artwork is really cool. I like the stamp. I'm just like, it's Set, and he already has a card in Origins, and I think that card is just better. And yeah, that's really it. It's always tough when you have like more than one of the cards. Now, this card I saw for the first time last week. I'm not sure where the promo is from, but it says from 2025, so it's like definitely an OG card. I think it's really cool. The pop is already like really high. I was debating on whether or not to get a raw copy, but then I saw the pop was already high. Sorry, high for a Riftbound card. I'm definitely speaking in terms of like Riftbound populations, and then I kind of just like backed away, and I was like, nah. If it was a little bit lower, then I'd definitely try and find one of these cards, because it has the iconic, Riot Games fist, and just some really great characters on the front. But moving on, all right, going back to more Vendetta singles. So we are going to look, see, does this card have the same issue? We see a little bit of whitening. We'll go to the zoomed in picture. Maybe a little bit there. Really small amount there. But I didn't think there was anything wrong with the back. But again, this angle, you don't really see if there's any scratches on it. But just from this picture, like, I think this is pretty safe. And this guy sold for $13.50. And you can just see all these Vendetta cards are just really going up in value. All the good Vendetta cards. We'll get to the Akali later. That guy hit a crazy sale this week, and I am really regretting that I didn't publish my video that I had made on the Akali before, because it was just like an I told you so. But the draft that I made was like, okay, Akali is going to be the next like Ari Kaisa, and basically when the price didn't go down after the first 2 weeks, I was like, oh shit, it's time to scoop it up. So I did scoop up one copy, right around the $2,000 mark. Like, I got very lucky, like, on the bottom, and I found a seller who was definitely, like, a little bit under market at the time, and I had pictures for it, so we'll see. That one's already at PSA, so I'm hoping it grades well. But, yeah, I think it's still a good time to pick up the Akali, because we don't have any signature PSA 10 sales to go off of yet, but I think everyone's really starting to realize, okay, this might be another crazy one. And then, again, I think this is actually a super underrated card. I still like this LeBlanc. I haven't gone ahead and picked it up yet. I want to try and free up some capital from some of the cards I just got from back from Beckett to try and like keep going into these. But yeah, again, looks like a super gradable copy. I know I like looked at it earlier, but I didn't really see any issues earlier. There's maybe like some surface defects, but it's probably just dust, respectfully. Like most of these cards are like just so well printed, and they just look so great. I love the yellow eyes on LeBlanc here. Like this is such a great card. All right, moving on, we're going Mbessa. So now we're finally seeing some of the first PSA 10s for Vendetta, start to come out. So this guy obviously paid like Super Express. So where is that is, or is it Walkthrough? They did, because, Super Express is now like two weeks when you do the business days. So if you want it back and like, able to be, get to Probstein in time, this guy very likely paid through Walkthrough, which is $600 to grade the card. And I'm assuming he pulled it because he wouldn't have had time to like buy this off a TCG player and then get it graded this fast. So if this person pulled it, I don't know how much they're spending on boxes, but they're still probably making a decent amount of money. But this is really low for like, obviously it's Pop 2, just came out, like only 42 bids. And then we're gonna look at the raw price. It's like $500. Like this is like less than a 3x multiple on the first copy of the card that came out. I think that's a little bit low, but it just kind of goes to show you like how little love there is for Mbessa, which is low-key kind of crazy. Because I don't even think this card's bad, but it's just, again, it's not a waifu card, and it's not like a sick-looking card. Like I would say like the number one cards are gonna be the waifu cards, of course, and then like sick-looking cards like Lee Sin from Origins. Again, I'm so biased, or like Zed from Vendetta. Like Zed looks so fucking cool, man. I love that guy. Okay, moving on, we got the non-signature PSA 10 Spiritforge Ari. You're right around 1,400, nothing crazy. Now we're gonna start moving on to more sealed product here. I think we're getting close to the Origins booster boxes, but yeah, it's gonna be a long video. Anyways, so we have the Spiritforge display sitting around 1,500, and then I also went to TCG Player. It looks like people are really starting to price in these reprints. We're gonna talk about it for Origins as well. Everyone's kind of realized, yes, Origins reprints are coming, Spiritforge reprints are coming. I'm not sure if they said Unleashed was coming yet. I don't remember, but a lot of people are starting to list these boxes. They're sitting at like $1,200. Last sale being $1,149, which means somebody is like really scared and like undercutting the market. And yeah, some person, I feel bad for them, paid about $300 and something over market for this guy, which is really too bad. But yeah, getting into this one, so now we're gonna move into some more like raw cards, and we're just gonna talk about like some of the things that I look for when I'm buying raw cards online. So places like Ryan's Card House or DC Sports, I'm not sure if Probstein does this still, but a lot of them, they list every single card in LP condition just because they don't want to have any issues with the authenticator. It's like they get in these cards in mass, they are just taking the pictures of it, they're not doing anything to it, and then they're going to ship it to the authenticator. And so, this card is most definitely near mint. I don't think Ryan's Card House is like, trying to pull any shade. I know they're not trying to pull any shade. Like neither is DC Sports. They just list them like this for any cards that are like maybe questionable, or I know DC Sports just lists everything. I didn't check other listings on Ryan's Card House. I'll just do it now. Let's just go find another raw card. Jesus. Okay, there's like no raw cards. This is so fun. Okay, random page. Find another raw card. Oh, this is such a tragedy. Oh my god, I'm literally like trolling myself right now. And I know I'm gonna watch this video back and there's gonna be like so many raw cards that I just like missed. Oh my god, okay, I'm actually going crazy. Jesus, okay, whatever. Somebody can just correct me in the comments. It's fine. Anyways, yeah, so you see this like white mark at the bottom. I don't think this is gonna grade a 10. You know, PSA goes by eye appeal. They don't have like set criteria, but based on eye appeal, that looks like crap. Back is fine though. That's probably just glare and probably just dust. But yeah, I think that's why this card went so low, because this card's just probably not gonna 10. But let's keep moving. All right, we got Bard from Spirit Forge, 1525. I love this card. Picked it up raw. Still waiting for it to come back. Love it. GG Easy Teemo. This guy ended up selling for 1700. Still great card. Love it. We're gonna look at a 10 here later, but it's definitely not like that high, not that surprising. All right, going back to Vendetta. So we're back to the non-signature Akali, 1,700 bucks. Raw is going for about 450, 500. So again, looking at about a 3x multiple, very similar to the Ambessa. So we're going to use that 3x multiple to keep evaluating cards, and then we'll make a prediction for what the first Akali signature is going to sell for based on the raw sale that we have. Aphelios, I love this card. Fantastic. I think it's underrated. I should go buy a copy and grade it. I will add that to my watch list after this. Great card. Vex, 1751, definitely moving up a little bit. This guy was a little bit cheaper before. Raw is going for about like 800 bucks, so there's only like a 2x multiple on him right now for grading. So it's like okay, but there are cards that are still better. All right, now we're getting into Origins. So this sold on Friday for about 1,800 bucks, Origins. And if we go to TCG Player, you know, we are selling in the 1,600s. So people continue to dump boxes on TCG Player. The lowest right now is around like 1,700, 20 bucks shipping plus tax, whatever. And you can just see like we got all the way up to 2,000 bucks. There's some definitely selling more on eBay, but like you know how it is. Reprints come, and everyone's already pricing that in, so everyone's just nuking their boxes right now. So we'll see how like low this goes. Honestly, I'm too lazy to sell my boxes. If I were being like absolutely perfect about this, I probably should have sold 2 of them at like 1,900 bucks because my cost basis is, you know, just so much lower. But yeah, it's fine. This set is absolutely goated. It still has like, actually, so if we're at 1,600 bucks divided by 6, it's less than 300 a box. I'm pretty sure I was checking the EV and showing some of my buddies at the card show this week. I was trying to convince them to rip Origins, and the EV of Origins was still like $320. Like, and these boxes are much less than that, so you're gonna have like still more than positive EV. Like, I might have to make a follow-up to that video because, dude, the cards in the Origins box, and that's not even including, oh wait, no, the 320s including signatures, not including signatures, it's like, I think, shit, I have to do the math again. It's like $30 less, so it's like $290. And these boxes are, you know, what, like $270 right now based on this price. All right, going back to some Origins, we got this lovely Lee Sin card. So let's take a look. Do we think this is gradable? Zero feedback seller, but, you know, it's authenticity guarantee. They're probably not scamming you. Yeah, probably not scamming you. Let's see. I mean, again, the hard thing with this card is going to be to see the scratches. Like, they're very nice in giving us these pictures. It's a little bit off center, left, right, but, you know, still well within PSA. Again, trying to find this for Black Label, so that's why I'm being extra picky. But yeah, like this card looks like it could be a PSA 10, but again, there could be scratches underneath here because you don't have the pictures with the back outside the sleeve, and that's again like the big thing in any of these Riftbound cards that like sellers can screw you over on. And so I always ask for, you know, pictures of the back, or I just ask if I think the seller is, you know, very likely like, you know, going to be an honest person. Okay, again, the better set card. This card, just so much better. You have orange and yellow theme, orange and yellow set with a signature. Like, if you're a set collector, like, you're buying this card. This card's just way better. I love this guy. Maybe I should grade one of these. Like, I don't play top lane, I don't play set, but whew, great card. Alrighty, I gotta move this over. Alright, we have the French exclusive. So this guy sold for, I think it was about, yeah, around 1,900 bucks. It's a Battlefield. I mean, it's just stained glass Battlefield. It looks amazing, and this is the interesting part about this card. The gem rate is not that good. So I meant to do this before I started recording, but I don't want to edit it and it's already getting late. Somebody can do this in comments or I can do it, but I think there's like a known like defect with this card. I just don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but like this card absolutely looks so beautiful. So beautiful. For $2,000. It looks so nice. It looks so nice. It looks so nice. I don't know enough about it though, and it's just not my business model to speculate on these things. All right, moving in. Oh, we have the GOAT Teemo. We have the Origins Teemo. This guy's at like I think 6K in a PSA 10. I didn't see a sale, but oh yeah, that's why I put this guy on the list. I didn't measure the centering. I should have measured the centering on this guy, but he looks. It looks a little cooked. It looks like right on the border. Again, this seller's a lot nicer, trying to show you that there's no scratches on the back. This seller has like a lot of reviews, and I see this centering left, right, and you know, of course, what I would do is try and get a better like actually like not yawed image, like one that's like straight up, so that you can measure this centering. But based on how the seller is like clearly aware of the scratches issues on the back, which is why they're giving you like these shots in the light to show you that there's no scratches on the back. If I were to guess, this is just a guess, this card was graded a PSA 9 because of its left-right centering, and the seller cracked it out and sold it raw, because you can typically always sell cards for higher when they're raw than PSA 9, especially like card games that grade well. Nobody wants a 9. Everybody wants the chance to get a 10. So this guy looks off-center, left-right, and I think the seller like definitely cracked this out, but that's just a guess. And if you're the seller, I'm so sorry if that's not true, but time and time again, you can tell. You can tell. All right, these are really cool. Oh shoot, I put mine away. I don't have a sealed trial deck. I got 2 of the trial decks from TwitchCon last year when they came out with the game, and each of those trial decks on their own, like sealed still, is only like $100. It's only like $100-$150, but people are paying, you know, $2,300 just to have this guy sealed. So yeah, I get it. It's a really cool collector's item. I want one, of course, but what I'm actually just trying to do, and I didn't get it today, and I'm really upset because it got away from me, is I'm trying to just get the other 2 decks that I'm missing. I'm missing Jinx, and I'm missing oh shoot, I have Victor Volibear, so I need Yasuo. So I need Jinx Yasuo. That's what I need. And somebody freaking posted Jinx Yasuo today with the Ari launch promo, and I didn't pick it up in time, and I missed it. That was really a downfall. But all right, now we're getting back into Worlds Teemo. So we talked a bit about earlier, is that like as long as this grading play exists where you can double your money by opening the Worlds thing, and you're very likely to get a 10, you know, you're sitting at like 70% gem rate. So 7 out of 10 odds to double your money, or you just sell the Teemo raw, recoup, and then you have like the box. And it's like fine. Like if in the long run, if you buy a bunch of them, then like of course you're gonna mathematically like make money, of course. But this guy, these pictures low-key kind of suck. But I was trying to see, because the copy that I had, it had like some fraying on the edges. I sent in my copy, but I think it's still gonna 10, and I can like kind of see the fraying. I was checking some other copies, and you know, it's the same thing as One Piece. If you have like the edge fray, PSH doesn't really care as long as it's not a chip on the card. All right, we're going back to Baron Nashor. This guy's really gone down a lot in price, and then we're going to see the PSA 10 value here soon, but this guy ended up selling for only like $2,200, and I believe everything was like fine with this copy when I checked it. It's a little bit off. Was it a little bit off center, left, right? It's not bad. It's like fine. These smudges are just fingerprints. It's fine. You can just wipe them off. And then, yeah, I don't really see any other issues. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. But again, this card's really gone down. Like, it just doesn't have waifu tax, and it's like, it's a cool card, but it's not like that cool, unfortunately. Now, this card, people are really liking this guy. This guy's really going up a ton in value, and I know like a lot of the Vendetta cards don't have not Vendetta, Unleashed cards still have like really low populations just because no one was grading them, which is true, which is fine. This card's really cool, and $2,500 is a great sale. It's definitely going up. Like the Vi, I think, is only at like $1,900, but we didn't get her in this guy. And yeah, I hope my copy comes back at 10 because this card actually looks really cool. Master Yi is such a popular character, and yeah, this guy's kind of like breaking out of the like not waifu but like still cool card trend. All right, now we will just touch on T1 very briefly. Korean version, first day was selling for like $3,600. Now people have them listed at like $25, $26. So here's the prediction. If this is what the Korean version is selling for, English has to be at least 4 to 5K. Like, I was low-key coping when I was trying to predict the price of this. But Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be super expensive. It's going to be 4 to 5K minimum on release day if these are selling for 2.5. All right, we're going back. Leona, great card, fantastic. Wish I held on to mine, but I broke even on mine, and that was an L. But yeah, 2,600, great. It used to sell for 13, so it's still about double about what it was in the past. Only black label for the video. It's just a black label, basic vein, almost the same price as the, oh, I thought it was the next card, almost the same price as the signature in a PSA 10. Yeah, almost 36. So it's like definitely around there. And then we're going into Unleashed. Yes, Unleashed. Again, great card. Jin, fantastic. Only $3,000. I think this guy deserves a bit more as well. Definitely, I think he does. I like the Jin better than the Diana. I think the Diana looks like trash, but that's just me. I think Jin is just like awesome. I hope he ends up right around like $4,444.44. That would be perfect for me. All right, here we go. Raw copy, Ari, Spirit Forge Unleashed, 0 feedback seller. You totally might be getting scammed. You never know. But yeah, in terms of centering, it's like perfect. Top, bottom, it's also fine. Look at the back. You have no idea if there's scratches on it. This looks like it's on the sleeve, but I don't really see any whitening on it. So like it looks like it can 10, but yeah, it's always like a gamble with the 0 feedback accounts. I always like to think that if somebody has 0 feedback, well, first what we do is we check. We see when the account was made. Oh shoot, it's like on mobile that it shows you when the account was made, not desktop, but it's like this person very likely ripped the box and they're just selling their card and they don't care about grading. They know they hit a cool card and they're just trying to sell it. So like getting this for 3.5K, I think it's a steal, and if I was there to snipe it, I would buy this too in a heartbeat. I think the 10 price was still around like 9K, but we have it later in the video so we can double check. All right, Vein Signature. I don't like this card. I think it's kind of poo-poo, but whatever, to each their own. I think it looks derpy, but yeah, still a strong card. All right, here we go. This is what we're talking about. This guy is now at 3,800. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Alrighty. You gotta check TCG player as well. Yeah, okay, I thought it was booming as well, but I didn't go and double check. But yeah, holy shit. This guy's just getting bought out. Last sale, Jesus Christ, this is at 4K now. I didn't even know that. So yeah, we're hitting 4K at Kali already. I hope mine grades a 10. Alright, so now that we're here, we're at 4K at Kali right now. Like 4K easy. I don't even know if the rest of the eBay ones had been bought out. I didn't check it. I should have gone and checked it. But this video is already getting really, really, really long. Holy moly. But yeah, we're at 4K at Kali. I think the first one should sell around 10 to 12K in a 10. That's what I'm going to guess. And I think that's like super reasonable. I think this is going to be just on the same level as Kaisa and Ari from Origins. Like, and if not higher, because it's the first copy, it could go all the way up to 15. Like, we don't know. Like, the FOMO is still like huge, especially with this card. And I hope mine grades a 10. Mine definitely won't be the first. I didn't walk through it or anything. Just didn't have the option. So I think I'll get mine back like first week of September. But yeah, holy moly, that is crazy. Lowest listed for 2069. Amazing. We love to see it. All right, again. Oh, there's a signature. Whew. Okay, I really a signature. Like 4K. It's all right. It's a little bit down. Yeah, okay, here we go. We're on to the first waves now. So there's one other first wave box that's currently listed on eBay, but it's only at 3,500 and the box looks like super damaged. And I've seen the seller like sell it a couple of times and then it gets relisted, which is like concerning, but I imagine it's just like people canceling or the seller's just doing funny things. So like it is what it is. 130 points sold for 4,250. There were a lot of Probstein auctions that sold around like 4,500. So I know a lot of people are sussed about Probstein auctions, myself included. But yeah, so that's where it ended up. But yeah, we're gonna keep our eye on it. Like, again, if you see someone who lists a first wave box for the regular price of one just because they don't know on eBay, that's probably gonna be the best way to scoop these guys up. But it is kind of competitive and people are really starting to realize. All right, we're back into Diana. So Jin is like looking like the second best chase in Unleashed, and that guy's at like 3K. Diana's at like 4.5. So she's really been about like pretty stable, and you can just see like how, you know, people are so much more encouraged to grade the cards that are more expensive. Like the Master Yi is starting to go up in price, but like the grading percentage multiple was basically the same, if not higher, for the Master Yi before the Diana, but there's like a third of the copies at PSA. So everyone's really just kind of like chasing the big ones. They're not like paying attention to the percentage gain that you can get on the grades, and that's always like the mistake of people when they're trying to grade. It's about the percentages. It's not about the raw like absolute figures. But yeah, this Diana card's alright. Like, the art's good, but I don't know. I just don't like the chibi. It's not my exact, like, favorite. And then here we go. We're into Baron Nashor. This guy was, like, selling in the 6s. Now he's at 45. And look at that. For a card you would expect to be rare, this has 4 times as many copies as the Diana from Unleashed. And it's supposed to be rarer. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just, like, stupid. It can't be. There's no way. There's no way signatures must be rarer than this. But I remember when he came out, this was supposed to be rarer than a signature. But maybe everyone's just grading it. And that's the issue. Nobody's grading the Diana. But yeah, this guy's like less than the Diana now. Or, you know, almost less. $100 difference. Alright, Jinx has come down a lot. But again, it's still a super great card. I don't know why it's so cheap. I think this guy should be more expensive. Especially because I believe its pop is actually much lower than the Ari signature. Well, I'll double check that one. Actually, I'm just going to double check it now. That's prize wall. Alright, let me see. Like Kaisa? It's like less. Oh yeah, Ari's higher, but okay. It's not like that much lower. It's like maybe 100 lower, so it's something crazy. But alright, we're seeing Lee Sin. Lee Sin's at like $5,400. This guy was like actually bought at $5,400, and then there's one Probe Scene auction that ended all the way down at $4. So this guy's still being pretty volatile. There's a copy like local to me. I low-key want to try and buy it, but I don't think the guy's gonna want to take last sold on it, which is 4K, especially because there were so many sales like at 6. So that's gonna be a brutal like negotiation, which is probably gonna end up in I want 6K because it sold for 6K one time. Anyways, I love Facebook Marketplace. All right, we're getting into some of the bigger hitters. Again, this is a great Misfortune card, $7,000. Can't complain. Great card. I think it's a fair price. All right, now we're starting to look at some absolute psychos. Some absolute psychos who are spending $7,000 on an Origins Ari. Is this guy gradable? I'm gonna say yeah, he totally is. You have like decent pictures with the lighting to see if there are any scratches. This guy's giving all the corner pictures, so he knows what he's doing. He knows what people who are trying to grade want to see. Like, it doesn't look like he's editing any of his pictures. But, like, it's always so fucking impossible to tell. Dude, when you're spending so much money on this and it's authenticity guarantee, it's like, this is outside of my risk tolerance. I have made some stupid decisions. That is for sure. I've made some really stupid decisions in the past when it comes to overpaying for a card and think it looks good, and the sender sends a different copy that has, like, different centering. Yeah. It's just like an absolute shit copy, and because it goes through authenticity guarantee, there's nothing you can do about it, so you just have to like resell the shittier card, and it like really sucks. But yeah, like this guy looks really good, and you just hope that like this person's not scamming you. And I'll be so real, like I'm looking at their profile, AI thumbnail, AI everything, like bro, you always have to like do the research on people, and this guy looks sus as hell. I don't know. I do not know. I don't like it one bit. I wouldn't buy this. This is too expensive. And it actually did sell for $7,000, which is like just absolutely ridiculous. Alright, I put a few of the metal cards in here. This guy's best offer accepted at $7,500. Raw selling for around 33, so you have a 2x multiple on this guy. You know, the pretty much all these metal cards are getting PSA 10s. This isn't like Celebrations metal cards in Pokemon where they're all like super damaged. Like no, most of them are like in very good condition. They're pretty much all 10. And what we're seeing is like the metal cards are very similar in price to the actual signatures, which tells you one thing and really one thing only. The metal cards are ugly as F, because if the metal cards looked, well, of course they're ugly. Like we all know they're ugly, but we only buy them because they're scarce, or like whatever you want to do. If you're speculating or you like Misfortune, like if you're gonna drop $7,000, like I think everyone can easily agree that this card's way cooler, or maybe the serialized T1 is way cooler, but yeah, I mean, it's a lower population, so whatever. People like that. I just wouldn't buy it. I don't like the metal cards. I'll be so real with you. There's a reason why there's only a few metal cards. I don't like them, but we're going to talk about them anyways. This video is already going like way long. I thought I was going to talk much faster, but we're already at 35 minutes. Alright, another metal card, Irelia. Again, basically 100% gem rate. Like, if you buy this to grade it and you get a 9, you have to crack it out, but it's in one of these new PSA slabs. Oh, I'm trying to read the plastic. Oh wait, no, is that 11? Basically, you can tell the type of slab it is by the number down here. It's too hard to see. Let me check this guy. Oh, okay, you can't see it either there, but it's like cracking new One Piece slabs is absolutely abysmal. I imagine the metal cards are the same, so if you get a 9, like, you have to crack it out and sell it raw if you, like, don't want to eat your shirt, because no one's going to try and sell a 9. Like, a 9's not going to come anywhere near raw price. It never does for cards like this. Okay, okay. So somebody bought this card for $5,000 on eBay, like, and then the seller, I guess, canceled the order and relisted it, and they relisted it for $7,000, but now PSA 10's all the way down to 7.9. I know this is an auction. I know there's lots of these out there, but, like, yeah, this guy's really starting to crack, and I am so glad that I said it in one of my previous videos. I don't like this card as much. I think Origins is way better. Population on this is actually way higher than I noticed, but yeah, this guy definitely should be lower than Origins Ari. Origins Ari is way better. And speaking of Origins Ari, we have it right here, 9.5. Perfect. Beautiful card. Love it. And then we go to the NBA Black Diamonds. There, as most of you guys know, there were 2 NBA Black Diamond sales this week, and they were on the Ari and the Kaisa, both signatures from Origin, so it's probably the same guy who did this and then sent them to Ryan's Card House. You know, Ryan's Card House likes to do a lot of black labels, NBA stuff. That's just kind of what he does. He's the dude who did the $250,000 Bubble Mew. And yeah, so we see about like a $2,000 difference here on this guy, and I mean, look, dude, I'm sending a lot of cards to Beckett, and I mean, look at this centering. Bro, this thing's left heavy. Like, I don't know. Like, as much as people like to clown on, like, Beckett for making mistakes, which they totally do, especially with Riftbound cards, but, like, this guy's left heavy. This guy's left heavy, just, like, slightly, like 51.49. It's not big. That looks like a small chip there, but it's probably dust. It's also really hard to evaluate slabs when they're in this, but this got a Beckett, this got a NBA Black Label, $2,000 difference, but now we're going to look at Kaisa. Kaisa looks great. Small chip here. This is not the NBA Black Label, and this guy's 100% super left heavy. Another little chip up there. Rest of it looks fine. It's definitely PSA 10. It's fine. 13.1. Then we're going to go this. Also 13.1. There's $1 more. This NBA freaking Black Label. This picture quality is like way too hard to tell. The centering. Oh, I'm not doing it with like a tool, but it looks like actually pretty good. And then top centering. Again, it's hard to do without a tool and like everything, but it still looks really great. All right, last 2 guys. Again, we're looking at the same thing. It's either you buy a metal card in a PSA 10 or you buy your favorite signature in a PSA 10. That's looking to be what the price correlation is, but the population is like way lower. And again, I think this card looks like awful. I'd rather have the signature Kaisa. Fingers crossed mine gets a 10. But yeah, it's just like, I don't like this card. I don't like the metal cards, but they are the highest ones. This guy got all the way up to like 30,000. I saw a bunch of bozos in freaking the Riftbound Facebook group asking like, ooh, 40K or best offer. Like, ooh, yeah, let me sell this card for 40K for whatever reason. It's like, no, dude. Like, thank God this card's coming back down to earth. Like, I think this card's still overpriced. Yeah, like, look at the population on this, dude. This card is not rare. This card is like barely rarer than the signature. It's like, I think you have a lot of like people who are coming over from One Piece. You know, One Piece market's like super down right now, and they're all kind of just like coming over to Riftbound. I did my lap at like one of the shows that I did the last time, just kind of talking to people who were buying Riftbound from like sealed product from one of the other vendors. That was where I got my sealed case of Vendetta. Fantastic. I paid a very good price for that. Shout out to that guy. And, you know, the consensus from a couple of the vendors was, yeah, a lot of people who used to play One Piece are now trying to learn Riftbound because One Piece is so competitive. It's really hard to get the prize cards, but they want to, like, you know, learn the new game because it's a little bit easier, and they want to just go and, like, try and farm the tournaments and farm all the new players and just farm the prize cards and just farm a bunch of money. Because, again, at the end of the day, what drives this hobby is always going to be money, like, whether you like it or not. I know it's not popular to say, but it's going to be people playing for money. It's going to be people buying cards for money. It's going to be people grading cards for money. That's always what it's going to come down to. It's going to be people ripping boxes for money. That's are going to be the main, you know, drivers of price action in this hobby, of course. But yeah, all right. That was a really long video. If you stuck around this long, dude, put a clown face in the comment section because this was a clown video, dude. I thought I could talk through all this stuff way faster, but I ended up just rambling, and I think it's fun. Don't get me wrong, I love talking about this stuff, but yeah, that's gonna be it. All right, peace, guys. I'm gonna try and get this video out either tonight, which is Sunday the 16th, or it'll go out Monday night when I get back from work. So yeah, peace.